Hey everybody, back again with a new game. It's not a new game actually, it's a game I've played many times. Hopefully this volume's okay. But it's called Stationeers. It brings the nerd, the geek out in me, plus I like doing control work. But I don't know, this game's really deep and it's not easy, but I love it. It really gets my brain going, but they did a lot of updates, so I started a new one and was talking to my brother a little while ago on the phone, kind of explaining the game to him. So I figured I'd throw this little video in. So anyway, this is on Mars. You start off here. This thing's full of these boxes, all these little individual things. I still haven't figured out what these flowers are for, but cereal bars for food. They give you a little bit of food. There's some like soybeans, and you can't eat these, but you can plant them and grow them. An egg carton. There's construction supplies and things in here. But anyway, I'm about a day. I guess I've been playing for about a day, maybe a day and a half. So I've got several hours in this one. But anyway, you get dumped on the planet with you and anyway, so started this base. First thing is to get production started and get some food going. So I had got solar panels up. You can automate these. I will automate these to where they'll track the sun, but right now I don't have it. Three of them has been taking care of power. I do have coal there. There is a coal-fired generator over here, so if I'm doing anything at night and I'm not generating power, I have to throw some coal in there. But I am running two mods on this. One, instead of having a stack of 50, the stack goes up to 250. And as you're mining these nodes, rather than getting one or two a piece, I'm getting upwards of 50 a pop. So bring the little mining drill out, turn this on so you can see I just pulled 37 plus, filled that other stack up. So 37 plus. See, I just got 30 out of that just in that little click. So it takes away the grind of just grinding and grinding and grinding. But that's the little drill. You also have a manual pickaxe you can use, but the drill works. It's battery powered, so you've got to charge all this stuff. Battery charger there. So you got solar power coming in, plus the generator in the back comes into this area power control. It's kind of a buffer. There's lots of uses for it, separating power versus and putting control systems on their own power controller. So like if I make a break in one of these lines, it kind of gives like almost like a little blip to that. So it'll cycle power on things. So they're used for all kinds of stuff. Multiple functions. These are just a couple lockers. These are carbon dioxide filters that I've gone through. Those are all empty. Or this is the furnace to smelt ore and make compounds like steel and what is that exception up there? Close that. Okay, so anyway, you make steel, electrum. There's several different things, and you can smelt regular ore as well. This is an electric arc furnace. You can smelt regular ore into bars. With this, it takes a lot of power, and you stand here a lot of time. This is an auto lathe. It makes basic components like you can make the furnace out of it. You can make art furnaces, suits, helmets, crates, doors, electronics, printer, all of these things. You can make all this stuff. This is an electronics printer. It does more along the lines of electronic circuit boards, wiring, electronic kits, electronic parts, cables, fuses, consoles, lights, yada, yada, yada. Piping, it's a pipe bender, makes pipes, vents, air conditioning units, filtration units. I mean, there's so much automation because you're dealing with atmosphere. You're also dealing with seven different gases, from nitrogen to hydrogen to oxygen, carbon dioxide, water, volatiles, which are basically hydrogen, but you also have an X thing, which is basically pollutants, which is pretty much chlorine. So you have to manage all that. You can see what I'm building up there on the top of that mountain, but I'll get up there in a second. Anyway, first thing I did, I got the arc furnace set, one solar panel, that Pop my battery charger up there. Got this auto lathe, started making things. So first thing you need to do is be able to grow food. So I come in here, shut this door. This is actually a makeshift airlock. It works fine for what I need it for. But if you look on the bottom right here, you can see my external pressure going up. It's 18 degrees Celsius in here because I just turned this vent on that had air in a pipe that pressurized this room. So I'll turn that back off. I'll flip that back the other way. And then I'll open the door, and this room is pressurized. It's 22 degrees Celsius in here. You can see that right here, all these externals. And I have some potatoes. Mark Watney, I think is what the Martian's name was. So these things create a boatload of heat. I'll go ahead and harvest them while I'm here. So I just got a bunch of potatoes. I can't eat those potatoes, but I want to plant. You get 3 per one, so I want to plant 4 back. But I have a little table in a microwave. It makes a baked potato, which I have none left, but there's more potatoes there. I just haven't cooked them. I'm actually getting a little low on food. I had this box full at one point in time. You can grow tomatoes. They make these cool little cans of tomato soup. They're pretty cool looking. It's kind of funny, but you know. Let's see. And then this is an air conditioner. So if you look here, 22 degrees. It's battery powered. You can see the battery right there. But it's actually heating and cooling, so it's more of a heat pump. But you can turn it on, and if you watch down here on the bottom right, 21 degrees, you can see the particulates moving, basically just saying it's moving air. So down to 20 degrees, 19 degrees. I'll go ahead and turn it off. It does drain that battery pretty big, but that's one of the small batteries. There's other batteries, a big cell battery, same design, just a lot more energy. And then there's also a nuclear battery on top of that for tools and parts and things. So I'm going to go back out of here. And if you watch down there on the bottom right, I'm going to suck all the air that's in here. I'm going to suck it up into this pipe. And you'll watch it go all the way down to a vacuum, 30, 20, 10. And then once you go to a vacuum, you're basically have no particulates to read temperature off of. So now I am pull that into a vacuum. The atmosphere's 2 kPa, which is about 1% of what you actually have on Earth. And the values are actually true. Jump up on top. Do have a jetpack, but basically I'm sucking all that air out of that and putting it into this pipe. This pipe's pressurized and it's capped on the end. I suck that air out, put it in that pipe, it pressurizes that pipe. So there is a full-blown airlock assembly with some controls, and I'll use it eventually, but I don't need it right now, so that room's taken care of. Let me turn this off. When at night, it is dark. It is very dark at night. Just turn all these off so you can see that thing's yellow and it's flashing blue and red. That means I'm draining power. Somewhere I'm draining power, which it's this right here. This is actually what's draining the power. Something else is running, but I don't know what it is. Okay, anyway, there's some pipe, a valve, some cans of paint, spray paint space. I know, but you know, it works. Some walls that I made up. There was some new walls. Like I said, this is after an update, so there's a lot of new stuff. One of the really cool things, I started, this is a starter base. Everything I really need is right here. Extra oxygen in this tank. I can set up a way to pull oxygen in, filter it down. But usually I can have a full atmospheric filtration system set up by the time I get out of that oxygen tank. So we're going to run over here. It's dark. I know where I'm going, but it is very dark. I put lights in up there hoping I could be able to see, but evidently those lights aren't really working as of yet. I mean, they're up, they're burning. You just can't see them. But that big black void is where I'm going. You can't see the stars of it, but this is actually a heck of a hill. And I could jetpack up this, but I can barely walk up it. But I'm saving my, basically have nitrogen in a cylinder. If you look on number 4 here, right there, I have 5,000 kPa in that. But anyway, this is the front. These are all windows. It's going to eventually be pressurized, but it's not pressurized yet. I still have no way to get up on top, but that'll be solved later. So, got the staircase here. This is a whole bunch of parts that I brought up and just kind of laid out here as I've been building and working. As you can see, I've got 2 large batteries up here. I have another battery charger. That's those larger batteries. That's the little one that was in that little air conditioning unit, but these are the larger ones. There's, I don't know, probably 5 times as much power in those, I guess. Another power controller, the same one that's down there, just the thing's shut. But this is a transformer, and you can see a bigger wire. Like you can see this wire here is just red, no stripes. This wire's a little fatter. This is high wattage cable, so you can put a lot more power through it. These batteries right here will draw enough power that it'll just melt this cable. It'll burn it right in half. So stepped it down off of a transformer. I'm only allowing it to shove 1,000 watts out at any given time. And this cable's good up to, I think it's 5,000 watts before those burn. These things will pull like crazy. And I've got, what, 8 more solar panels up here. Just kind of got it set right now before I put my automation. You can see I've got my chips and stuff here for my automation getting ready to be put in. I want to automate all of that. That way these will track the sun. Sun comes up over there. It sets over there. Skip about 3 rows, 2 to 3 rows, and I can put another run of them right out through here. I could layer this whole upper side here with solar panels if I wanted to, but it's not really necessary right now. Once I get that full filtration set up, I'm going to use a lot more power, so I will have more solar panels and a lot more of these batteries. So then I came down here. So first thing is I've got everything I need down there, but I want to streamline it and make it a lot more automated up here. So I started up here. This is just an open room, but they made this core driller and it's freaking awesome. I love this thing. As you can see, it drills all the way to the bedrock, which it's lava, but it's really cool. It was running when I went down off the hill, but now it's not. It misses a few spots here and there, but it's really, really cool. Okay, so now it's wanting me to change my battery. But this is going to be like electronic controls. I may put some production in here temporarily. You can see it, thing's chucking out all this coal. Look at all that coal that it dug out of there. But it'll dig straight all the way down. Any ore that's in it, it'll grab it, pull it back up, dump it when it gets full, and it'll go back to digging. And it's like all this underneath here is dug out and everything as well. I think that's the 3rd time. You can tear it back down and place it again, move it, tear it back down. So I'll jump down in here real quick and you can see I've dug out all the way over here and it goes all the way down to the bottom. I mean, and it's a long ways down. But I got to get down in here with my little mining drill and clean all that up. But it's really cool and you don't have to do anything. You just set it and forget it. Kind of like but wait, there's more. One of the stupid infomercials. I don't know, just watching it run, it's really cool. I just think it's really cool, but I'm a geek and a nerd and all that, so I'm going up here and change my battery real quick so it'll start barking at me. I actually need to eat something too, down to 45%. So the controls are kind of weird, but I just changed my battery. Once you get used to it, it makes sense once you get used to using the interface, but if you've never played something like this, it's kind of odd. But so anyway, I've got this room here with the windows. Put windows around the side just for aesthetics, some light. It looked pretty cool down there. But I want to have a door here. This is going to be an airlock room right here. It's going to be an airlock. I'm probably going to put cabinets in here and cabinets here for food, so I don't actually have to go in there unless I'm harvesting or planting. But this is going to be my greenhouse. And why is that there? I'll get the right buttons here. Change my belt. That's the mining belt. This is the tool belt. So somehow that got placed when I was outside there. So I'm going to cut that back down. My little handy angle grinder. But anyway, this is going to be my greenhouse. I will have atmospheric set in here to where I can maintain temperature, pressure. Don't need to really filter anything. And I doubt very seriously that I'm going to pressurize that area out there. So this will basically just be isolating and maintaining, say, 60 kPa in here, somewhere between 50 and 60. Maintaining temperature is the biggest thing. So instead of having one of those little battery-powered air conditioners, you can see the sun coming up. The sunrises and sunsets and the atmospherics and the haze that it puts on is really, really cool. I mean, it's so cool to watch. They've done a lot of work with this game, and it's just amazing. The landscape, and it's just really cool. I love it. And then you can kind of look back down on my little area down here, but So that's where I started. I moved up here on top of this mountain. But that's just kind of the beginning of what I've got started. I'm a builder more than I am I don't know. I just like to build stuff. Build stuff like that on 7 Days to Die. I just like building big, cool stuff. And this is just the beginning. This is the skeleton. That miner, I'm going to use that. I'm going to put an elevator in here. Haven't figured exactly where I'm going to put it yet, but I'm probably going to end up pulling up most of this floor and digging this thing out. So you'll have a mountain on the outside, but it's going to be hollow on the inside. There's no structural integrity per se in this game. So let's eat a little tomato soup there. So I'm going to eat. You can see my vitals on the bottom right there, 42%. This should fill me up completely with a little left over, so I've got a little bit left. But it's pretty cool. Like I said, I'm a big geek on stuff like this. I like the control work, and as you can see, this big pile of stuff up here. I'm beginning to get into that. Once I got everything down here set to where I knew all I had to do was just use that as manufacturing. And actually, they're better manufacturing items than what I've got down there so far. There's a full-blown fabricator, which you can set it up and program it with a computer and tell it what to make. All you got to do is just make sure it has the ingredients to make it. It'll make it. There's stackers where you can stack multiple items, and you don't have to sit and just keep picking up one item after another. But this is probably my favorite part about this whole base up here. You can just come over and just jump, take the big leap of faith, and then right before you're going to hit that jetpack, and down off the mountain I come. So it's and all this I've dug down in here. I think there was copper down in here. I dug that whole way down in there, digging copper out. There's iron and copper and lead and gold and coal, and which it's coal, but it's more like carbon, I guess. Silicone, and there are gaseous rocks as well, which basically it's ice. So you have like water ice. You have an oxygen. It's called oxalite, which is a blue one, kind of like this. That's basically oxygen and water. You take it inside, put it in a pressurized room, add a little heat to it, the things boil off, and you can create atmosphere that way. And then this one is the volatiles, which is pretty much hydrogen, um, and you make fuel out of it. So you're having like hydrogen and oxygen mix in this torch. So you have a torch. So there's a tank with a hydrogen oxygen mix. That's how you weld your frames together. So like, let's see, let's put that back on, and then let's look at the. So like, I have 3,600 kPa of, it's mixed gas, so it's 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. I think that's how it's set up. I think it's 2 to 1. Yeah, so it's 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. Um, but it's there's a lot to it, man. I mean, there is a whole lot to it. This is just the start. I plan on having a tank farm with filtration, like a boiling room with, if you take ice and throw it in these right here and stick it in an enclosed room and then put ventilation in that room so it boils it off. You put a bunch of heat in it, boils it off, and then you suck it out of the air inside that room. I've had one of those on an earlier play. I had 6 of these stacked into a room. And they've got chutes, kind of like conveyor belts, but they're, like vacuum chutes, like at the bank or whatever. It sucks your little vacuum tube up. So they have chutes, and you can load these with chutes, and you can actually control. They've got smart splitters where it'll say send one this way if this is below this amount. You put more over here. The game is so deep, even automating solar panels to where they'll track the sun. The sun on Mars is actually off kilter. If you look on my degrees down there, I'm facing 180 degrees right there. The sun's off of that just a little bit. So it's kicked off to the side, so you actually have to track it in laterally and vertically and horizontally. So it's kind of a trick. There's all kinds of videos on the internet as far as to tell you how to do this stuff. There's people a lot smarter than me that have figured that kind of stuff out. You can see my tomatoes are already starting to grow a little bit. Takes about 2 days, I guess, which is kind of quick. You'd think it'd be faster, take longer, but it is a video game. So, but yeah, this furnace here, like I can smelt. It's you can make steel, so it's one thing of coal for per three things of iron. So I have three 250 stacks of iron and one 250 stack of coal. You mix those ice blocks 2-to-1 ratio, throw them in there, fire the furnace. You start loading this up, and it'll smelt and make steel. Solder. The solder's like a 1-to-1 ratio of lead and iron. Then they've got nickel in there. There's got silver and gold. I think there's is it bauxite or cobalt or some. There's another one that they introduced as well. But yeah, I don't know. It gets my brain going. I get play it for a while and almost get overwhelmed the amount of stuff you can do. But yeah, I may put up a few videos of this. I really enjoy this game. I've enjoyed it since it first came out. It's still in alpha. It's been out for, I don't know, a year and a half, maybe 2 years, I guess. I may be way off on that, but I've had it for a while. I've had some really large bases, underground bases. I built one that was more like a skyscraper tower, and I've spread wide bases. I've built, I don't know how many different things on there, but yeah, it's a really cool game. These stairs to nowhere were so that I could get up here, and you can adjust these with a wrench, with this wrench right here, and adjust them up and down with those two. Adjust it left and right there. I just couldn't reach them, so I was jumping up here, and you can see I can move it up or down like this. But I don't really need to move them. I put three of them up there at different angles, so it's pretty much charging all day long. And the amount of work that I'm doing down here, like I said, if I'm smelting a bunch of stuff in here, I may have to throw some coal over there just to give it a little kick, but those three will maintain anything that I need down here at the moment. But yeah, I pretty much wanted to kind of show my brother what I was talking about. We had a conversation about this earlier, so but yeah, it's really cool. It gets really in depth with logic and computers and computer trip. Computer chips. You can have sensors. You can motion sensors, air pressure sensors, light level sensors, angles, like a daylight sensor that will track the sun and give you the 180 degree angle, whatever plane it's on. That's what you use in order to automate your solar panels. Um, but yeah, that's the nerd in me. I love it. But anyway, y'all have a good day. I may be back with some more stationeers. We don't know. If you like the video, hit that like button. If I get a bunch of likes or something, I may do a series on it or something. I don't know. Um, but it's a hobby. I just enjoy it. So you guys have a good day, and I will see you in the next one.